Do you have a synopsis on there?
Good format. I got a plot.
Okay, good.
Do you want to do another clap just so we can get started at a part where it's not
I'll figure it out.
terrible?
Nah, I got it. We should just do.
What?
So when I'm skimming through, I'll be holding my hands up when we're about to start.
Let's see if we're weird.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dudes Watch a Movie podcast. We are on episode 12. We are continuing our Christmas theme this month, which genius move, December, do Christmas movies. No one else has ever thought of it.
So original.
Very. This episode, we are doing my choice, which was Jingle All the Way, aka best Christmas movie ever, Fight Me. I'm the notorious G.I.N.G.
I'm Des Brockett. I'm going to fight you on this.
Put them up, bro. I guess give us the old synopsis.
Maybe this time I will not struggle to read this.
Oh, I believe in you.
We are in the beginnings, and I'm good. So the plot. A father vows to get his son a Turbo Man action figure for Christmas. Terrible pause. However, every store is sold out of them, and he must travel all over town and compete with everybody else in order to find one. That's basically all that I have. There's a little bit more to it, but that's just.
I feel like you're not giving this movie the credit it is deserved for the cinematic masterpiece that Jingle All the Way is, which we will discuss later. First things first, Jake Lloyd plays little Jamie, right?
Jamie Langston.
Seeing him kind of makes me sad, knowing all the troubles he's had in life. Playing young Anakin Skywalker did not go well for him. And it got me really sad thinking that he went from the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Fight Me, to being the second most hated character of all time in Star Wars, straight behind Jar Jar Binks.
So, maybe I'm getting him confused with somebody else, but was he also in Big Daddy?
No.
That was a different kid.
That kid looks super similar, though.
Okay.
Like, when I was younger, Jake Lloyd, whoever the kid in Big Daddy, who I believe was twins, if I remember right on that one, and Jonathan Lipnicki were all just like, they're all the same person to me.
Gotcha. That's probably why I was getting confused. Because I was about to say, but isn't he from Big Daddy? But I guess
no.
He is. I know he's Anakin. I know that.
They're not twins with each other, but they had two people playing the kid in Big Daddy.
I gotcha.
Okay, gotcha. Main star of the movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, does a fantastic job. Best Christmas performance of all time, Fight Me. And he does. It's weird because obviously everyone thinks Schwarzenegger is awesome because of movies like Predator and what's the Running Man? Running Man is probably the best
Running Man, Eraser, Terminator.
There you go. Terminator 1 for sure, better than Terminator 2. Hashtag Fight Me. I'm very, very abrasive right now.
It's not movie fights, my friend.
I know. Well, oof. I don't understand why now he keeps trying to come back with all these I'm an old, tough, gritty action guy. Dude, do comedy. You're good at it. You're fish out of water.
That back then, that's just all he did, though.
Yeah, but think about all the good comedies he did, though. Like
a
Kindergarten
man
Cop
doesn't play a very good comedian.
Kindergarten Cop, Jingle All the Way.
It's because it's ironic. He's
I'm saying.
Being downplayed.
Now, what if they just take old Dutch from Predator and then be like, all right, now take a bunch of kids and teach them school. Kindergarten Cop 2. I think it's
my
fantastic.
Comedy movies are campy.
They are. Mine are just better.
Fight Me.
Other people in this movie, Phil Hartman plays Ted, the neighbor, who, again, this movie makes me sad right out the gate real fast, because I miss that man a lot. Do you know the story of what happened with Phil Hartman?
No.
Okay,
Maybe I do, but...
So Phil Hartman had a crazy wife, right? And she was a drug addict, and she got in touch with Andy Dick, right? Because they were on a show called news radio, which also had Joe Rogan as a maintenance guy. Phil Hartman played it was a talk radio. He was like the main anchor, if I remember right. Anyways, she got all like coked out and on some drugs, some prescriptions of some sort, and she shot Phil Hartman and herself, maybe. Definitely shot Phil Hartman. Oh yeah. So he's dead now, and that makes me real sad because he has a beautiful voice, that man, and B, super funny. He was Troy McClure on The Simpsons.
How do I not know these things?
Oh, I don't know. I just have a lot of free time on the internet. So.
I guess.
Also, I watch a lot of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I thought about picking that up, but there's so many episodes now. Mm-hmm. I don't have like 3 hours to spend on an episode.
Oh, you break it up over a couple of sessions. Sinbad, the other main in this movie.
Myron,
yep.
Myron.
Not bad. For some reason, he seems like one of those people that gets a lot of hate.
Sinbad or Myron?
Sinbad.
Okay.
Like, it seems like he's always the butt of jokes, and I don't understand why, because I only remember seeing him in like 2 movies, and it was this and First Kid. He's not in Kazam, no matter what the internet will tell you. I feel like he does a good job. There's a lot of things to his insanity that I did not understand as a kid, but then when I grew up, it made more sense. I was like, why is he so high strung?
He's a lot more relatable when you're older, which is probably why he was in the movie to begin with.
Well, I just didn't get the joke that he was going postal the whole movie. Like, once I hit like 16 and found out what that saying was, it's like, oh, okay. Okay. That's really all that matters. Cast-wise, I mean, his wife, I can't even remember her.
Who was he before he was an actor?
Sinbad?
Yeah.
He was a stand-up comedian, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Some other kind of famous people pop up. One that I would like to mention, Paul White shows up, and that marks wrestler number 2 to grace our podcast, aka The Big Show, plays the giant Santa.
The Big Show.
Yes, which also has a connection to another wrestler. So there is a movie called Santa with Muscles, starring Hulk Hogan, and now we have The Big Show in this one as a big Santa with big muscles.
Oh man, any movie that man is in is a joke.
We will be watching one at some point, mark my words.
Gotta pick a month.
Mm-hmm. Straight out the gate, Ted's fucking all the neighbors.
Oh, for sure.
The little karate meet, and they're all like, hey, Ted.
Without a doubt.
Hey, Ted, I got this little problem. I wonder if you can come work it out. Hey, Ted, I have a little project for you over here. You think you can come over and fix that for me? What's going on?
Recently divorced single father is banging the neighborhood.
Oh, my God, slinging dick left and right. And the worst part is he seems to have some complex going on where everyone wants to fuck him, but the only one he wants to fuck, he can't. And that would be
Liz.
That'd be Liz.
Played by Rita Wilson.
Yep, who I don't recall ever seeing in other movies, but I'm sure she did them.
Yeah, no, she was in Step Brothers. We just discussed that.
That was definitely not her, and that was...
Was it?
First of all, that was not her. Second of all, that was not while we were watching this movie. That was while we were watching a video on YouTube.
Oh, right. They just kind of blended all together. My bad.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's one of the lady Liz.
There are some things in this movie that we kind of touched on with Home Alone. Like the relatable factor of where they're at. This one taking place in Minnesota. So still...
America was there?
Yep, still in the heartland of America. A lot of things look familiar. Stores, streets, just looks like the way the Midwest still looks.
Yeah.
So I realized we have not progressed since the 90s.
Not at all.
There were stores in this movie that you can walk into a store in Iowa now and still see similar stuff. They were showing the like toys on the wall. Immediately thought of JCD and Hobby. It helps that they're selling retro toys there, but it just looks like that big warehouse with not a lot of like design, just utilitarian, as many hooks as we can put in.
The movie's 20 years old, and we still kind of are living in that era. Well, 21 years old.
Yep.
We're still kind of stuck.
Yep. It's a fantastic place we live in. Other things that were super 90s that stuck out was the color scheme on this movie. a lot of prime colors, a lot of red, yellow, and blue, and then just some green thrown in there.
There's a lot of earthy tones to it. Also, I kind of noticed.
Yes, it was. It's really made me think that I kind of like that look.
Made me feel like I was in my grandma's. It's going to be really hard for anybody else to relate this, but to me, it felt like going back to Christmas at my grandma's house. It just, like, she lived in a little bit more of the upper town of West Des Moines. And it was just, it feels that way. And we're still stuck there.
So, like the Midwest rich style?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're not really rich, but I mean, you got some things that look nice.
Right, exactly. Speaking of things that look nice, this man was a mattress salesman. Was he like the CEO mattress salesman? Because this man was, I don't want to say rich, but with the cash he was slinging.
Definitely well-to-do.
Yeah.
Like, not McAllister's rich, but he's like the next bracket under that.
He almost threw $300 down on a toy, and then roughly, I'm going to guess if one of those things was $20, $60 to some lady. So I don't understand his position in the job.
I was always under the assumption that he runs that company. That's why he works so hard at it, and that's why he doesn't spend time with his kids, because he's trying to get that going as best as he can.
But if he's running a company, why is he doing all the sales calls?
That's the other thing that never really clicked with me. But his commitment to it makes me think that if he's not running it, he's at least very high up in it, because he never has any mention with Liz like, I've got to do this to get to the next level. So I was always under the assumption that he's just the top, and that's how much he cares about winning and making money. On the way to the karate ceremony, competition, I don't know what you would call those.
I want to say it's like maybe like a belt ceremony, because he was going to the next level.
Right? He was going, purple belt's real important to me, Dad. It's like 17 away from black or whatever.
3. Wow!
Yeah, so you can remember that, but not, okay. He runs into the cop for the first time in the movie, who comes back multiple times, and Jesus Christ, that guy just does not catch a break.
Nope.
I would take a day off.
Absolutely. It's the holidays, and we're going through a bunch of crap right now, sir.
Gets a win, right? Catches nothing but L's for the rest of the movie. So he pulls him over, gives him the ticket. Later, when they're trying to speed out of a parking spot because they just got news of a late shipment of Turbo Man dolls, which they keep calling them, it drove me crazy. It's an action figure. Thank you, Myron. He accidentally backs into that same policeman's bike, and he breaks his little mirror. Writes him a ticket again. Still a win. Still a win, technically.
How long ago was it that you seen the movie?
Probably like last Christmas.
Oh, I was going to say, and you remembered that single line from there?
I just always found it weird. He's so upset. You broke my little mirror. Then when does he see him after that? It would be in the DJ booth, right?
The studio.
Which, that was the first time it really clicked to me that this movie might not have known what tone it was going for. Couldn't decide if it wanted to be really family friendly or like a really dark satire. And I think it might have been both at one time, and like there was some clash with studio.
Blended the two.
Yeah.
In a strange way.
Because when he pulls out the bomb, the music like changes real hard, and it's like all up close in everyone's face. I'm like, this is intense. I went to see this on a school field trip in like kindergarten. This is intense.
I did like the cartoony bit though when the bomb does explode. Obviously, it's a bomb that doesn't harm anybody, but like I guess it explodes. And then he's just fine. He's just a charred face, and I guess he injured his hands, and everybody else is fine.
But if you think about like that in terms of especially what happened in New York, it's not a joke they'd make in a movie nowadays, and not to be that I don't think they'd be that cartoony, because you see Arnold coming out, and then up in the building behind him, you hear, and you just see a flash of white, and it's like, oh shit! And it goes inside, and he just the one guy holding the bomb.
It's like a Wile E. Coyote moment.
It is. And Myron is, bunch of sick people in this world. He's not, shit, I've been carrying a bomb on me this whole time, throwing my bag around and hitting people.
Yep, he's unfazed.
Not even. He's just, gotta get that toy. Gotta get that toy or his kid will be a loser like him.
One track mind. That was a very elaborate story on how to get a toy that his something 7, I just read it off his explanation of getting a gun.
Oh,
The action figure getting the 7 guns in one, and how his friend, because he got it, he's now a billionaire. He's making a connection. You get what you want, you become wealthy.
And I don't know, I mean, so even though this is greatest Christmas movie of all time, Fight Me didn't do so well with critics.
No.
It's got like a 5.5 on IMDb or something like that. And if I remember right, one of the big things they talk about is how this movie pushes the idea that Christmas is all about getting your kid that one toy, or else your family's going to get divorced and fall apart or whatever. But again, back to it seemed like 2 different movies that got pushed into one. I feel like it was supposed to be a satire on like the rage of the Tickle Me Elmo and all that stuff at the time. But it just didn't kind of play off as well as it could have. They even at the end when he gets the actual action figure, he gives it away, and it's supposed to be, it's the moral of the story is, make other people. It's about other people for Christmas or whatever. The whole movie is like, I have to get this doll or my kid's gonna hate me forever.
Just because the kid learns the lesson, they hopefully pass it on, and obviously not. I'll tell you what, though, seeing the crowd of rowdy people, it's almost like retail PTSD. Just seeing all those people being, I don't say savages, but it's just like, man,
barely
people
even
really
human?
do act that way, though. I mean, maybe not to that extent, but it sure feels
it
like
is
it.
dialed up to 11 for sure, but they do an awful lot in this movie of painting out people in retail to be like evil or assholes, and I can tell you they're not. They're just like, hey, man, I'm just here trying to do my job. We're not trying to jack up prices. Yeah, no shit. We're not lying to you. We're not trying to jerk you around and get you just to buy something. It's like, man, we don't care what you buy or what you don't buy. We're just trying to get through the day.
Basically, at the end of it all. Unless you're up the higher up and your job's on the line for selling, maybe, but at that low of a level,
In my personal experience, not a single person that I work with, either at the level I'm at or above me in that building, is like, yeah, we've got to get them to buy this or it's over. It's just like, just get them what they need. That's it. Try to make it as easy as possible.
Feel genuine.
Yeah. The other big thing about that too is I've lost my thought, so go ahead.
Well, I was gonna go on about how it really encapsulates how when there's a big thing going on, how much the marketing booms. Like, Turbo Man was huge. All the adults know about it. There was a Turbo Man cereal. They're making Turbo Man movies. There's advertising everywhere, and it just kind of really shows you that how much advertising is amplified during the holiday season just for people to shell out the cash.
Yep.
And I thought it hit the nail on the head pretty well.
And you just reminded me of what I was thinking, was it seemed to me like this movie, even though it was trying to criticize and satire the need to get the hot toy, was also trying to make the Turbo Man doll the hot toy, because they did put these out. And it seemed like the whole movie, if you think about it as a commercial to kids, to be like, oh man, I need that toy because the kid in the movie needs that toy. Don't think it worked.
They actually did that?
They put the toy out, I would think so. I mean, they, in some form or another, thought that they were going to sell these toys. So I wonder if that was also some of the sneaky ploy trying to go on there. The other thing I was thinking, so the Santas, right?
Yeah. The little secret Santa society.
Who are making basically counterfeit toys for, the girls and boys who just couldn't get one, even though they're knockoffs. And some of them are from other countries, like the Espanol Turbo Man.
Spanish Turbo Man just breaks apart.
Today, if they were making that movie, they would be equivalent, or not making the movie, but IRL, they would be equivalent to Amazon. That's what I was thinking. It's like you can't get the actual one, so you're going to go to Amazon, buy something from someone you don't really know that can't always be super trustworthy, and you don't really know what you're going to get until it's there, because the deal might be too good to be true, which it normally is.
Yeah. True, I can see it. It's the brick and mortar to the electronic type of thing. You can't get it there, get it here. May not be exactly what you wanted, but it's close enough.
You know what happens? Those people come back to me and say, hey, I got this thing on Amazon and it didn't work. I want one that works. And I'm like, well, should have came here. All our stuff is from actual manufacturers, not just some Joe Schmo.
I feel like if people did a little bit more research, that would never be a problem. I always jump to the reviews
Yep.
immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And I always read the bad ones first, and then I try to justify them out with the good ones.
Yep. I do think that the Santa scene is one of the most pivotal scenes, not only in this movie, but in film history. We've already discussed how it included The Big Show, so launched a career, obviously. But it also influenced another up-and-coming director at the time, Sir Tommy Wiseau, I believe. Because the initial Santa Claus... Tommy
That's
Wiseau.
a stretch, man.
Tommy Wiseau saw that and was like, I need to make the room.
No.
And I need to do that multiple times in the room.
Oh, man. I thought you really had me going there for a second.
Oh, no. It's true. It's damn true. No. Kurt Angle movie next.
God. Oh, sometimes.
Is it weird to never know if I'm being like truthful or not? Because sometimes even I don't know.
Keeps you on the toes. I don't like it. Anyway, back to the film.
Yep.
I was going to talk about how this kid really enjoys rubbing it in his dad's face and how shitty of a father he is. Every single time.
Yeah.
You promised. You were supposed to go there, but you didn't. Remember that time? You said you'd do this? You didn't. Remember that, Dad? It's like you relished in it.
Yeah, and I feel like if my dad's Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm not trying to like entice this man to like hit me. If he spanks him, he might not be able to sit for like 3 weeks.
Shatter his ass.
Just a thought. And the other kid, his best friend, whose name I cannot remember.
I didn't remember either. Ted's kid.
Yeah, is kind of also a weird little dick kid. He's like, divorce did wonders for my dad. Hey, maybe your parents should get divorced.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
I did also appreciate that he named the reindeer Ted after his dad. I just thought that was weird.
It was just the best part, the sequence, though. Oh, yeah, my mom's out petting Ted.
What? Again, not sure who that movie's for. That line's for the adults? Maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
Speaking, I want to backtrack real quick because I did like that they went to Mall of America and that whole weird scene with the bouncing ball and the kinetic energy that thing carries goes forever.
Covered in flubber.
100%. But they go through Legoland briefly, and I always wanted to go there as a kid, and when I finally went there, not that great.
No.
It's really not that big.
It's super expensive.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get anything. I was like, oh, this is so
Underwhelming.
small. Yeah. I should have been here when I was like 5. It would have been super cool.
I know in 99 when I wanted to go back to Germany, I wanted so bad to go to the actual Legoland theme park, but it rained, so we never went. So I'll never know what it's like to go to the theme park. But I'll tell you what, going to the retail side of it wasn't near as great, so I could only hope that a theme park would be better.
I can only assume that if you had gone to that theme park, you would not be here today to tell the tale about it, because roller coasters made out of Lego seem really unsafe. Just a thought.
All right.
Just a thought. I'm pretty much out of my notes because I've already seen this movie a million times, so I was just gonna kind of go off whatever you said. So if you have anything else, fire away.
So, can we talk about how many federal offenses this movie's committing?
Yep. Jingle all the way to federal prison.
Yeah. There was the opening of mail packages several times.
Yep.
Impersonating a police officer. I would assume at some point in time claiming you have a bomb.
Yeah, bomb
Maybe
threat's
that's
got to be pretty
probably
high
up
there.
there. I think I had it somewhere else in there.
And there was tons of misdemeanors as well.
Breaking and entering, almost arson, opening
well.
packages. Yep, we went. Yeah, it's
Attempted murder.
punching a reindeer. I don't know if that is, but I mean,
No, I was talking about fighting those Santa Claus guys.
yeah.
I mean, at some point you got to think that's fight or die. But my assumption was if the Santas win, they're killing him because they can't have people knowing.
True.
Yep. Also, Big Show punched that little one, and he went flying. So that guy's probably dead. Like that much force to send you that far.
His fist was covered in flubber.
Yeah, I know that this movie plays fast and loose with the rules of physics, but that guy's dead.
Yeah. 100%. Without a doubt, with that much force from that big of a man to that small of a person.
Should have just punched straight through him, you know?
Just a hole.
But, you know, it's what it is.
I'll say overall the movie was pretty good. I felt the big sharp decline, though, was at that flight scene where he's flying around and flying around and flying around. It could have been shortened and it would have been so much better. And then just the consistent little zany sped up moments where he's flying through it too. It's just
I wrote down the movie jumps the shark with the jetpack. It was perfectly fine movie, and then again it seemed like someone else stepped in and was like, hey, we have to have a big climax. Like what if he becomes the actual Turbo Man and he does everything that real Turbo Man can do, like fly the jetpack, but it's 1997 and we don't have a really good CGI effect going on here.
96.
Sure. It just, that to me, I always forget that it ends like that, and when I see it I'm just like, oh, I see why this is a 5.5, even though it's the greatest movie of all time involving Christmas.
Nope. Think about it, man. Like, when anybody talks about Christmas movies, the first thing that always pops up,
Jingle All the Way.
Home Alone, every single time. You
not
popped
even.
Jingle All the Way
Not
in,
even.
and the first thing that popped up was a thing for Home Alone.
If we're being 100% serious, it's probably A Christmas Story, or it's probably It's a Wonderful Life, or it's probably the real answer for best Christmas movie of all time, which is Griswold's
Home Alone.
Christmas Vacation.
I'll stick by mine.
No, these are just the two bad movies that we both like because we were like 6 when we saw them. Because it's the best movie of all time ever. Christmas Fight Me.
Also, Liz's face once she discovers that he used Turbo
Howard.
Man, I'm pretty sure that she discovers her new kink right then and there.
Just Howard.
It's just like, ooh. But yeah,
There's she was on Conan one time, and he said she deserved an Oscar for that movie just for the reveal when she's like, Howard? It's like you couldn't tell that this almost 7 foot tall Austrian man in a Turbo Man suit wasn't Howard. who talks just like Arnold. Which
All
I'm
the time.
glad we've got all the way through this without an Arnold impersonation so far. Kudos to us.
Yes.
It's
I'm
been
more
tempting.
on the brinks of I think mine wouldn't be good enough, so I'm gonna save myself the embarrassment.
Correct.
I ended this movie with my own little ending where after he ends up being Turbo Man, he then goes on to sign TV deals and movie deals and never sees his family ever again.
And what about Myron, right? He got the Turbo Man action figure, but he's going to jail.
Yep.
So here you go, kid. Here's your present. See you in like 5 years. It's a real bummer of an ending. And of course, he forgot his wife's present.
That was listed under IDBM's crazy credits, where that little scene pops in. I guess maybe it wasn't in there before, but
They just figured they had to do a little like cliffhanger
A
ending
little
to set
zinger.
up a sequel that didn't happen until like 20 years later with Larry the Cable Guy.
we will not speak of.
Fuck. I think they should remake this movie.
Yeah.
Forget the Larry the Cable Guy thing. Forget this version, even though it's the best one. They should remake this movie, make it a bit more serious. I feel like it would. It was ahead of its time, is what it was. See, so
It's a movie for its time.
no, not even that. It was ahead of its time. It was almost 20 years ahead of its time. So when they go in to Jamie's room, when he's all pissy at his dad the first time, and he runs up the stairs with his juice box, you know, and he goes in his room. What's all over his room? Marvel stuff, right? So he's got a big old
right,
Captain
there
America.
was.
He's got some blankets. He's got a pillow that says Infinity Gauntlet. This might have been the initial setup for the Infinity Wars movie series. Just saying. Just saying. It's probably
21-year stretch.
it's probably a little Kevin Feige sitting there watching that and like, we could make the greatest movie franchise of all time. Why didn't I think of it? I did think of this. Thank you, Jingle All the Way. So if they make it now in this superhero crazy climate, you know, you got a movie about Christmas with a superhero in it. Take away maybe some of the like the zany, wacky stuff, and now when he flies, it'll look good, even though they shouldn't do that. Make it the satire it should have been. Boom, $1 bajillion right there.
Expect your check in the mail.
I do. And the best part is this can also tie in and capitalize off of some of that Ready Player One, you know, some of that hype on Ready Player One, because I don't know which had more properties in it, either the Ready Player One trailer or the parade scene in this movie. You had Sonic the Hedgehog, you had the Ninja Turtles, you had the Tick, you had Bert and Ernie,
Gumby,
you had a little whoever wrote the Ready Player One book sitting there.
Sock'em Robot.
He was like, oh man, I need to write a book. It's 1996 and I've got something in my brain, but I don't know what it is. I got to write a book. Let me go watch that hot new greatest Christmas movie of all time, Fight Me, Jingle All the Way. And he watches that scene with the parade, right? And he's like, what if I wrote a book with all the pop culture people I could possibly think of?
You know,
And that became Ready Player One.
one day if you become big and famous and do interviews and you interview them, man, I hope you ask him. And he tells you. I hope he tells you he's never seen that film.
No, I hope I
Just
say
to
that and
crush
he
your
just
dreams.
no. See, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna be like, hey, I have a theory, and I'm gonna go through the whole spiel, and he's gonna go, damn, you're right.
One day.
Oh my God! Is there anything else that you would like to talk about?
Nope, I was figuring we'd move on to our thingies.
Yes. So what the fuck moment? I struggled a bit because there's quite a few of them in this movie. I was leaning towards the bomb scene with the crazy tonal shift, but I went with Arnold punching the reindeer.
I almost went with that one.
Just for the insanity of it. He's running from this deer, just terrified of it, trying to get away from it, and then as soon as Liz finds out and gets all pissy, now he's like, all right, wrong day, bud, right? And he just uppercuts that reindeer, knocks it on its ass.
And then they become buds.
Because he
beer.
couldn't bench press his way out of this one.
Howitzer Howard.
Howitzer. So good. What was your what the fuck moment?
Why do all the cops just immediately pull guns in every situation that they're put up against? I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. And how does the one with the burnt hands from the bomb pull his gun? Because he's got just muffs on and he's like...
He drops it. No. He didn't have the burnt hands then.
At the end, it's the bomb. The bomb's
Oh.
gone off. And he pulls the guns out of Myron. And he's got the wraps all over his hands.
Right.
Take a day off, man. Take a day off. I know you spent 10 years in the bomb squad, but take a day off.
He needs some time off for sure.
My favorite scene in this movie, which, again, very hard scene, because I think of all of them, because this movie's amazing. I went with the phone call with Ted. He is at the payphone trying to get in contact with Liz because it's 1996 and they don't have cell phones and text messaging is not an option. So he's calling the house. Ted answers. He's pissed immediately because Ted's there and he knows what that sneaky dude's up to. And Ted eats his goddamn cookies. And he lets out the greatest line in film history of "Put that cookie down."
Put that cookie down!
So good every
I
time.
was literally typing that one out for my favorite scene. I was like, I'm gonna not, and I'm glad I did. But yes, I also enjoyed that one thoroughly, especially the reactions of the people standing right next to him as he's screaming.
Giant Austrian man mad on the phone.
Put that cookie down. My favorite scene I put when Myron explains that the whole marketing toy selling thing's a ploy. 100%, because it's
Yep.
pretty much on the nose. That for that time, I don't know if it was during the time when Transformers was being huge as well.
That was in the 80s.
Okay, the whole cartoon. With
They
the
definitely had
son,
stuff in the
but-
90s that, like, they always do.
Oh yeah.
Power Rangers. Tickle Me Elmo was probably the biggest thing that inspired this, though. The craze of everyone trying to get one would have been not too far off from that time, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. But he's not wrong.
No.
I don't see why everyone's so mad at it, though. It's just like, you have a choice. You can be like, hey, no, I'm not going to get you that fucking toy, kid. Shut up.
Pressured to be a good father
No.
because he's divorced from his wife that left him. That slept with everybody else in the post office except for him.
Well,
Which, by the way, was part of the theatrical cut. In the actual one, he goes, I was married to a woman that now no longer lives here and you don't know who she is, or something like that. Just that
so
didn't make
not
sense.
near as funny.
Yeah, no.
You know who we should have had on this episode? Brian.
Why? Oh, because he's a postman.
Yeah, we'd be like, do you relate to this?
Well, I mean, from my experience, from what I've heard from him, in the line in this movie, he talks about being a postman is it makes him a loser with no future. And honestly, seeing what Brian's got, he's not a loser. He's got quite a bit of a future.
Yeah.
I mean, the Postal Service either A, turned itself around, or B, Myron wasn't in a good spot at the post office.
I think it's just the, I don't know if it still exists, but there's definitely that stereotype that everyone that works at the post office hates their job. But I don't know if it was supposed to be the people at the post office or the drivers, because Myron looked like he was the driver.
Yeah.
Like he even gets mad about people leaving trash cans in front of the mailbox and stuff like that.
My dad works at the post office, and he loved his job.
Yeah, I don't see what would be so bad about it. They apparently pay you well.
Oh, yeah.
I suppose that leaves us with MVP. Mine was Phil Hartman, playing Ted. Every scene he's in, it's fantastic and sad at the same time, but mostly fantastic. Just the little things that he would do, like super creep, but at the same time always saying what seems like would be the right thing to say. Like talking, he seems like he's lying about everything, and he's putting on the portrayal that he's the perfect man. But then when he burns his hand, you see like the inner like rage coming out of him.
Pops out for a second.
Yeah, and then when he finally gets Liz alone, he's just like telling her about, for me, it was the barbecue that you threw, and he's just being super weird and cheesy.
I told you it was just Italian dressing.
Yes. Oh, so good. And then she bats him with the eggnog, and Dad, you smell like barf. So hands down, he is probably like 60%, maybe 75% of why I still love this movie. So good.
My MVP was Sinbad, basically, because that dude was always 2 steps ahead. Granted, he's a bit insane. Mm-hmm. He was always a couple steps ahead of what Howard had going on. So that's basically the only reason why. Then he agrees the whole ploy thing. Like, he seems pretty grounded, but insane.
And again, I don't know if there was like a retroactive hate on Sinbad or if people just never liked him or what the deal was, but I think a lot of what he says in that's funny. Like, I don't know if it was in the script or if they're just little ad-libs he was doing, but when he throws him up against the wall, he's like, I got sickle cell. when he's choking him and he's got the phone, he's like, 911, 911,
Oh, when he's getting beat, he was saying Rodney King or whatever.
Yes. All things that went over my head as a kid real bad, but now I'm just like, that's funny. That's funny. I don't know. Solid choice. He definitely would have been my second choice on that one.
Little tidbit trivia I read. Apparently, I think it was, there was supposed to be another guy who was supposed to play Myron, and it was the short actor who also played with Arnold Schwarzenegger in a movie before.
Danny DeVito?
Yes, I believe he was supposed to be rolled, but he was way too short standing next to Arnold.
Yeah, they would have him on apple boxes.
Yeah, so that's why they obviously didn't pick him. So.
And I don't know how tall Arnold Schwarzenegger really is, but Sinbad did not look short next to him. So I don't know if Sinbad's also really tall or Arnold it just isn't as big as I thought he was.
Well, I was also going to mention the scene where he's standing next to the Big Show, but the Big Show's huge. So
yeah.
Arnold's probably not all that bigger.
So I suppose that would wrap it up for this episode of Dudes Watch Movie podcast over Jingle All the Way, aka the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Fight me.
It's not.
Maybe it's not.
Subjective.
It might not be.
Whatever.
Because Griswold is. But I mean, what's the fun in doing a movie that's nothing but good? I have been in choice G-I-N-G.
And as always, I am still Des Brockett.
Hope to see you guys next time. Thanks.
God is.